Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live with Ms Steph. Today is November 18th, 2024. And yes, you hear a rasp. You hear a little something happening again, but such is life. We press on. We move forward. So yes, I've got my warm beverage with me again this morning, and we are going to have a great time with our science today, right? So welcome to Live with Ms Steph. So glad to have you with me today. We are going to go over Giving Tuesday. So for those of you wondering, like, what is happening on Giving Tuesday, and like not only what is happening, but like where are the funds going? Okay, you want to give, but you don't know where I'm putting the money. Well, guess what? I'm about to let you know that now. Also, a little bit more information about Saturday Science Club, as well as a quick little follow-up of a little something that I debuted this past Saturday, and how that went. And then, of course, we are going to do our activity. Today, we are going to use these fantastic qualitative filters. Y'all, so some of you don't know, like, we do real science over here. A lot of times when folks do science with children, they're trying to do like the fake kind of kiddie stuff. No, we're doing real stuff. Just because you see some food coloring doesn't mean that we're not doing the real thing. So yes, I'm going to show you how to use these qualitative filters with 2-year-olds. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's get right into the conversation. One more sip. So Giving Tuesday this year, Giving Tuesday 2024, is on December 3rd, y'all. That's like 2 weeks away, barely. This is what it feels like. It feels like it's like super close. And not only does it feel like 2 weeks away, like it is. Okay. So yeah, so December 3rd is when we're having our Giving Tuesday celebration. And so last year we started this idea of not only asking for you all to contribute to our organization to celebrate Giving Tuesday, but also to invite you to come alongside us giving things. Because our organization, let me try to fix that for a second. Triple F Empowerment Inc. that runs Ms Steph Science Club. We do several things that are actually free for participants. You might not know that. So I want to make sure that you're clear on that right now. And so whenever a child comes to Saturday Science Club for the last 2 years has actually been completely free. It's not even like suggested donation. Now, some families do choose to donate either items or sometimes they donate cash, but it is not a requirement for their child to attend on any given Saturday for them to give. So when it comes to Giving Tuesday, your contribution is supporting the rest of the funds needed for that. We do have a grant that we are awarded from Columbia Community Service. You can see it on their website, all that type of stuff. We are grantees from that particular organization, not to be mixed up with Columbia. They're associated, but they're not like the same thing. Okay, sometimes people are like, Columbia gives you money. No. Columbia Community Service, if you look up the information on their website, you're able to understand kind of what their relationship is, and really it's staff and students that come together and donate actually part of their personal funds and give to organizations that are specifically in the neighborhood of Columbia. So that's how that works. So yeah, so back to what we're doing on Giving Tuesday specifically, because that may have seemed like a rabbit hole, but it wasn't. They're all related. So we do get some funding from them to support some of our programming, but it doesn't cover the whole thing. And so when we come towards the end of the year, the second half of our Saturday Science Club, which again, like I said, is free for participants, but still costs us money. And so when you're giving on Giving Tuesday, when you're giving this time of year, you're supporting that programming. And as far as like your impact amount, It does cost $38 per child per Saturday. All right. So that's $38 per Saturday that we are outlaying. And so when you come alongside us, you are helping support those awesome, wonderful, brilliant scientists, because you know we have some brilliant scientists and you've seen pictures of them. And that's what you're supporting. Now, as far as the kits, that is an impact level of $48. So it costs us $48 to gather the materials and all the things that are involved, the person power, to design the kits, because as I've shared with you, I've designed a new kit, right? Just because the kits from last year, from last season, went off so well, we did decide to move forward and have this event again this year. At the same time, being a scientist and being creative and being an inventor, or having an inventor mindset, I wanted to make sure that I changed things up so that if we had participants, ideally we have a mix of return participants, right? Folks who have gotten a kit already, and some newer students who haven't had a kit at all. I wanted to make sure that the kit was entertaining and instructional for all of the people involved. And so we have designed, or rather I have designed, a new kit that will be passed out on December 3rd. And then that will be the kit that will move forward for a few months, probably until we have our next Science in the Park, which is in May, right? So it's about, 6 months worth of time where we use the same kit. So all that being said, $38 helps sponsor a child's STEAM immersion experience on a Saturday. And again, remember, it is free for participants. It's very important for you all to understand that. And then it's also free for participants for the kids. Families are not required to donate anything for their child to get a kit. All right. When you log on and you, or rather when you go on to our Giving Tuesday fundraiser, you will see that we do have some traction happening. We have already started to raise funds for the event that is occurring on Giving Tuesday. And when you log in, there's, or rather when you go onto that page, there's a donate and tickets. Whatever you are doing, you want to click that button, and that button will allow you to then either register your child for the event to attend and get a free STEAM starter kit, and or contribute to the funds for, like I said, Saturday Science Club, to help support Saturday Science Club, which again is free to the public. Okay? And to help support costs, because some folks have already given, right? And so for those of you already giving, know that your funds are already in motion, right? I've already started to work, like I said, on the kits, and started to gather the materials needed, because we use high quality materials. We use nice things for the children so that they have a positive learning experience. And the process of going online, as far as me creating a video, because I do create a video that is specific for the kids. The young people get a QR code that can then be scanned, and then I pop up and I deliver a short lesson for them to properly use the materials that are in the kits. So all of those things obviously are associated with a cost, and so that's what you're helping with. You may be wondering, well, like if I give now, where is it going? That's what I'm saying. Is that it's going towards that. And so actually, when you do contribute now, it already has a place and a designation for it to go. So I just wanted to make that super clear for everyone, as far as what's going on there. Now, Saturday Science Club. We had a great time this past Saturday, which was Cake and Chemistry, as you know. And I've said multiple times during this video that Saturday Science Club is free of charge for the participants, the awesome, wonderful, brilliant participants. We had a lot of kids on Saturday. Remember, I'm wanting to serve. I have goals, people, and we are pressing towards those goals. Intention. plan, execute. Okay. You've probably seen me say that somewhere before. So yeah, I set intention, I plan it out, and then we do it. And the we do it part act involves reflection and all that type of stuff. For those of you wondering. And so that being said, this past Saturday was cake and chemistry. Yes, everybody got their chemistry cupcake. Now, technically, science experiments, the little cupcakes that we did, both of them are a representation of chemistry, right? So the ones that the kids could eat, and then the ones that the kids like made with shaving cream and baking soda and all that. Both of those, of course, are chemical reactions, right? Because we all know that baking is a significant chemical reaction, and that things that we have been using for some time now, right, in our society. And so if you're a baker, know that you are a chemist. FYI. All right. Science is everywhere, and science is for everybody. So yeah, we had a great time this past Saturday doing cake and chemistry. The kids made, like I'm saying, like a little shaving cream cupcake. It erupted, and they got to take home the cupcake as promised. We had different flavors. Everybody had a great time. I also, as I'm mentioning, debuted these. They are little pieces. They come. So you see these pieces. It's actually quite scientifically intriguing, because all you have to do is dip this little. I made this. This was the sample that I made when I was testing it, and the kids loved them. Like a whole bin was like gone. Again, reasons for you to help support us, because I fully believe in representing abundance in front of our students. I don't believe that we should be operating in lack, and nor do I believe that they should feel like there's not enough. And so I took a whole bin's worth, and I let them, you've already seen it on my Instagram. I've already showed you. This is the magic foam is what this particular manufacturer of it is calling it. It's different things, but it is a corn-based like foam pellet. You get, for those of us from back in the day, I mean, it looks like those little styrofoam packing peanuts, right? But it is not that. It is water sensitive. Okay, thank you so much for joining live with Ms Steph. We're just doing our weekly Science Club news and letting you know about different activities. And so yes, so these little pellet pieces, actually you can dip them in water, and then they'll stick to each other immediately. Definitely use them for ages 3 and up, and they do need to be supervised for anybody under 6, because they may try to eat them. As far as I know, they're not edible. Just because something is made out of food does not make it edible. Okay? But yeah, the kids had a great time, and it's a very quick project. It can take like a long time. I had some students that were actually, I would say, for the first 45 minutes, because, you know, I set up stations and they can explore various things that are available to them. We had this station, the Pluffle station. I've already told y'all Pluffle is fantastic. Again, that's already up on my Instagram. But this station, the Pluffle station, of course, my cupcake, the shaving cream cupcakes that we made, little chemical reaction. We had our smart circuit kit out, and usually I exchange sometimes I trade off between smart circuits, my DIY electricity circuits, and snap circuits. Those 3 things are, back and forth. For the electricity station, we always have an electricity station. Then we had a magnifying station. I had all kinds of things going on. But yes, we had lots of things that were available, and really just, we had a great time. And I am looking forward to our next event, right? Because remember, coming up, the next thing that we're doing is not Saturday Science Club. The next thing we're doing is on December 3rd. Registration is required if you do want your child to come. You don't have to pay, but you definitely need to register. And I've already explained earlier on in this live as far as kind of how it works, and what your contributions go to and all that type of stuff. But yes, so December 3rd is the next thing that we're doing, and that's our Giving Tuesday. And then after that, on December 7th, is when we will resume Saturday Science Club. First, second, and third Saturdays, and we will be at Wadley. Yeah, lots of fun, awesome things. FYI, this is one of our cards. You may have seen these out and about. Okay, one of our information cards. Super fun, super cool. So yeah, so Giving Tuesday, Saturday Science Club, and the kids. And now let's do the activity, right? So this one, I actually uploaded this before. So one of the things that people sometimes ask me, like, Ms. Steph, so like, is this your full-time job? Yeah. One, yes. Okay. Two, like, sometimes folks will ask me, like, how long does it take for me to do everything? Say, for example, for my traveling science teacher situations, I did post a very short reel the other day, and more will be coming out about, like, just kind of time impact and giving impact, all that type of stuff, because it's the time of year, y'all. And we do really appreciate those of you who have already contributed and those of you who are planning on contributing, as far as like what you're giving to and all that type of stuff. I want to make sure that's super clear to you. So one of the things that I decided to post was information concerning the amount of time it takes me, or the time input compared to the outlay. So for example, for every 45 minutes, basically every class that I teach, traveling science teacher or otherwise, for every 45 minutes of hands-on STEAM instruction that we deliver through our Ms Steph Science Club method and using our philosophy of fun, hands-on, high quality, engaging instruction and concepts, it's at least 3 hours of input of planning, right? Because, I set my intention first, and then I plan. I rework activities. Even if it's an activity that I've done for years, I still double check all of the materials. Like, I have materials that are here in my home. I make sure that all of those materials are still up to date. Because just because something was reactive before, especially when you're dealing with your chemicals, they either dry out or they absorb water, all those different things. Have to make sure that everything is planned accordingly. And so there's the intention setting, the planning, then to do the executing of like packing all of the materials with me in my bag, and then traveling to the location, because we are, when it comes to traveling science teacher, we're mitigating the negative impact of a school, an after school, or a daycare, an early childhood center not having their own science teacher on site. And so I'm going in providing those things. Or maybe they have a STEM teacher, but for whatever funding or just other limiting factors. Like, for example, I have a site where they do have a STEM teacher, and she and I actually collaborate and have been collaborating for years. It's a long-standing site. And so there are things, because she only gets to see the kids like once a week, which, as we all know, is just simply not enough time. I mean, we would never give kids math once a week. It's the same thing. I said it, and I meant it. Alrighty then. So, all that being said is that it is no less than 3 hours of time that you're observing when you see a 40 to 45 minute class, Ms. Steph Science Club class. So let's go ahead and hop right into this. As I said, these are the qualitative filters, and these are the same type of filters that I used as a laboratory chemist, because they're high quality filters, and you can actually use them to measure the concentration of chemicals. You can also use them for chromatography, which is what we're going to use them for today. And chromatography is a way to separate components. And when you're doing an analysis, right, these are things that we talk about, whenever your like blood gets sent away, or any other type of sample There's an analysis that's going on. There's like trying to find out what's inside of that and if it's the right amount of a thing. Because in our bodies, we need the correct amounts. Not only do we need certain chemicals, but we need it to be there in the correct amounts. I'm going to take one more sip. And so, of course, I have my covered tray. These I actually get on Amazon. I order them. They come in 100 a box. If you do not have these, you can use paper towel. I do like to use what we call the quote-unquote the real materials, as in the stuff that we use in the lab for as many projects as possible so that the children get to see it. Remember, I told you I'm going to do qualitative science. Okay, I'm going to use this material. I'll show you how you can use it with 2-year-olds. All right, so you see I've already done some pre-cutting. I've got my plates. Y'all know about how I feel about my plates. These are your 1 ounce cups. Okay. Inside of one of them, I'm adding water. You can and I'll show you why. It was very specific about making sure there's not too much in there. You can, with older children, meaning upper elementary, like really upper elementary, I would say like 5th graders, you can use, there we go. You can use rubbing alcohol. And of course, they're not to eat it, which is why I'm saying upper elementary. They still need to be pretty well supervised. You need to be able to have line of sight. You need to make sure that your students are able to handle certain chemicals and understand that they're not to like splash it, or because even if they're not going to drink it, there are still other safety concerns. And by this point in the school year, you should have already addressed that with your students. But in case you haven't, I would say make sure you use water. Okay. So inside of this other, so I've got 2 cups, and you see I have 2 samples. This is going to be 2 samples. So one sample, we're going to just put the food coloring down. Into the cup. So they're going to compare. I'm only going to use 1 drop of blue because we all know blue is a very strong color. All right, we've got that there. Now, one of my quarters, right? Because I cut it in 4ths, will go directly into the food coloring. The other one, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to put this right on top. Okay. Hi. Because you want to be able to see how it's now looked like it's all together, because chromatography is separation. It's a way to analyze things. I'm going to actually pour out quite a bit of the water. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching Live with Ms Steph. You are going to get to see the activity part. All right, so if you don't have these, you can try using a paper towel strip at home. So I'm going to put this in, and the water will start running up this immediately. Okay? We're going to let that work. Now I'm going to take the other sample and put it directly into the mixed food coloring. And again, this is another one of the activities. Y'all know how I feel about my highly pigmented, very lovely, fancy food coloring. But the dollar store stuff, helped you out in a lot of activities. It's fantastic. Alrighty then, and so the combined ones are there. Oh, and we're already getting some separation over here. Remember, it was all together. Now you're seeing it separated. And that's what chromatography is a way to chemically, to see what's inside, okay? For my, high school chemistry teachers out there, you can kind of teach your students. Obviously, you would have them use the implements that will let them make smaller dots and all that, because as you see, my dot is way too big. And that's shout out to my old school chemists. But for those of us working with younger children, we're doing it this way, right? The filter is absorbing the liquid, and all the liquids and all the components, all the chemicals travel a different distance. And because they travel a different distance, they separate out, and you get to see what is inside, what's making up what's inside of there, right? And so this one was like really, really like very highly concentrated. And so you didn't get to see as much separation. But the point is for them to be able to observe the difference between, like, say, just putting it into the food coloring and why you would bother to put a dot on the paper and then use the water to move it up, right? You see that difference? All right, y'all. So that's been Live with Ms. Steph today. I really thank you for joining me today on November 18th for Live with Ms. Steph. We just did a quick little, I just did a very quick demonstration of some of the activities that I'll be doing this week with my various age groups of students. We're going to be doing some chromatography. It's one of my favorite things. And for those of you who have worked, I've worked as a laboratory chemist in environmental labs, in pharmaceutical labs, and in plastics. All three of those labs used high pressure HPLC, high pressure liquid chromatography. So chromatography seems like it could be like a very small, simple concept, but you could teach this high level concept to kids with just some water and some food coloring. Isn't that fantastic? Just say it's cool. All right, so that's our little chromatography activity for today. Remember, Giving Tuesday is coming up. We will be talking about it a lot. You'll be seeing some of our families probably share some information about it. You're going to see our board share some information about it. Still dealing with the sore throat from the other day. Some information about it. But yes, it's free for participants. Please register your child now. We already have, we're already down to, I think, like 25 spots now. I started with 35 last week. So please make sure you register your young person now. And then, of course, like I said, Saturday Science Club. We will be back at Saturday Science Club on December 7th. And after I do Saturday Science Club that day, I'm headed over to do a pop-up because we want to make sure that we're working with as many children as possible. Remember, I set a goal. I told y'all in January 2024, I set a goal to work with 1,000 students through our community activities and in-person services. And we are pushing 900 at this point. And so I'm super excited that we will be meeting that goal. I thank you all for your support and your participation in Triple F Empowerment Inc.'s adventure to operate the beloved Ms. Steph Science Club. I'm Ms. Steph, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week on the interwebs. Have an absolutely wonderful day.